Welcome to another episode of Open Minds Podcast with Harshita. In this episode, I have invited co-founder of MoneyTree Partners. So we have spoken about finances and how to start financing from scratch. What should you do and what should be your goals about finances in future? Like if you are investing for your retirement plan or if you are investing for short-term goals, which one is better, SIP, mutual fund, or you should be investing in stocks, or you should be investing in real estate. We have spoken a lot about this. Kindly listen to the full episode, and if you have any queries, you can also drop your query in the comment section. Hi, Siddharth. Welcome to Open Minds podcast with Arpita. And I'm so glad that you have agreed to sit with me today. And seeing your expertise in finance, I've been following you from so long on Instagram, and recently I've also followed you on LinkedIn. I can see your work. I can see that you have done a lot of podcasting about podcasts and TV shows as well about finance. So, this podcast is also going to be about finance. So let's start by that.
For sure. It would be a
Okay.
pleasure, Arpita. Thank you so much for calling me over to your podcast. And frankly speaking, today, these are one among those moments where I generally take podcasts for a lot of the experts. But today, when I am asked to answer the question of yours, primarily it's giving me a different feeling altogether.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I think we should start. I want to start the question from from the age of 20s and 30s, as we start investing mostly after our 30s or 35 or maybe 40, right? So what are the most common money mistakes people make in their 20s and 30s? What do you think they make mistakes there?
So, Arpita, since I'm a wealth manager and manage portfolios of a lot of people, I'll tell you that, generally what happens when you get your very first time the income or salary, you get so elated and excited that you generally think that let's splurge the entire thing, because life is just about, consuming, consumption, whatever you like, you spend the money, carelessly. So, this is the kind of attitude which I generally see in the Gen Zs, millennials, and so on and so forth. But unfortunately, as in how an investor is getting now quite aware of the fact that no. I have to take care of my retirement. I have to develop an emergency corpus. I have to get myself financially independent. So it is at that point of time, Arpita, that literally the sense of awareness now has come to a great extent within these millennials and Gen Zs. So I would just say that, Arpita, the mistakes which people or which investors generally make at a very early stage is that they don't think about investing, they splurge the entire money, they don't care about their bank accounts, they don't know how to spend properly, they don't maintain a proper records of their expenses. What they think that whatever the amount of money they are earning is equal to the amount of expenses what they have to make. So, all of these mistakes, in a very myopic manner, I've seen investors doing it quite common. So, these are the certain things, Arpita, which people I have seen make these mistakes. But it is, with the advent of social media platforms, podcasts like yours, where now they have understood that no. There is something more than just, mercilessly consuming the money as well.
Correct. Okay, so suppose I am someone who want to start building from scratch, like start investing from scratch. So what's your advice? How should someone start building, investing from scratch?
Arpita, in that case, for beginners, basically, I think SIP will be one of the best way through which you can start building from scratch, because of three or four reasons. Probably, when you are on a salary payrolls, then you get a definite amount of money on a monthly basis. And in that amount of money, whatever you are getting, you have to consume that money in paying off your rents, in terms of your household expenses, and at the same time, whatever the money is left over, that you can only invest. Right? So you might not be having a very large amount of money to invest, but yes, small in bits and pieces you can have money. So if you start with a normal SIP where the averaging takes place in a very good manner, and the investor can also learn, can come into the groove of investing, probably I find that that is one of the best way through which you can actually start your investment journey, and you can see your money growing over a period of time. So Arpita, it is only once you are having that financial orientation of saving the money, that the real saving comes. So the real saving doesn't come just by simply putting your money into the bank account and putting the money into the portfolio. It is all about the thought process. The financial the chapter of financial independence begins when that seed of inception or idea gets into your mind that no, now I need to save, now I need to invest. That is where the whole financial independence concept starts building into your brain, into your mind, and you start activating over it over a period of time.
Okay, so as you said that we should start SIPs with a small amount, and I've also heard about mutual funds. And for someone at the very beginner level like me, I don't understand the difference between SIPs and mutual funds. So can you give me a little light on that as
So
well?
exactly, Arpita, I'll just tell you, mutual fund is an asset classes and SIP is a mode of entering into the mutual fund. So for example, you need to go to Agra, for example. So there are different ways of going to Agra. Somebody can take the expressway, somebody can take an NH2 route, somebody can fly, somebody can take a route of train. So these are different ways of going to Agra. So you can, through an analogy, I'll just explain. You can consider Agra as a mutual fund, and which is your destination, and the different routes could be, one route could be an SIP route. So this is SIP is nothing but just one of the ways of entering into the mutual funds.
Okay. Also, as you said that the major population of India is living we get our salary, we have to pay the rent, we have to pay the loans. So, what's your advice for someone who also is trying to pay the debts while also trying to save? So, what strategy they can follow?
So Arpita, as rightly said, that for a normal individual investor or normal individual person, there are, whenever he or she gets a salary, the first thing is a rent, the second thing is a household expenses, and the third is whatever the leftover debts he or she is carrying, right? So these are certain things. So for an individual investor, I would always say that first of all, let's be very judicious. Let's say somebody is earning 100 rupees. So let's say 20 rupees goes into the expenses, 20 rupees goes into the rent, and the next 20 rupees goes into paying off debts. So on an average, he or she is left with 40 rupees. Now the investment strategy or style should be such that he or she should invest at least 30 rupees out of that 40 rupees. 10 rupees should be kept into the bank account so that in case of any emergency, that money could be consumed or utilized at a later stage. So Arpita, the whole idea of investing comes from the fact that how calculated you are right from day one, whether you are expensing out everything, whatever is coming your way, and how swift or smart a methodology you are adopting in order to start your investing journey. So probably I find, Arpita, that these are small things which an individual investor should take care of, and accounting should be done properly. Anticipation of some emergency can also take place for that, and investors should have the insurance of a proper cover which can help in covering for the health and life as well. So Arpita, these are small things primarily which are required for an investors to mull over so that one can have a decent and a substantial standard of living.
That's great advice. Yeah, so there's one more thing. What's your take on mutual funds, stocks, and real estate?
So Arpita, these are all the three different asset classes. All these three asset classes are meant just for the sake of investments. Mutual fund and stocks are something which are overly market dependent. So if the markets goes high, the your money kept into the portfolios of mutual funds and stocks will go high, and if the market will go down, the money invested will also go down. So I mean, mutual fund is nothing but an agglomeration of stocks basically. So there is a fund manager. He, along with his entire team, uses his expertise to develop a mutual fund where he takes the best stocks possible as per according to the category he is designing, and then the investors start investing the money into those mutual funds. The whole idea of investing the money into mutual funds or SEBI coming out with a guideline like mutual fund sahi hai is just because of the fact that mutual fund has so many stocks that it gives you a lot of check and balance into your portfolio, and that is primarily where a layman can make a lot of money out of the markets by not compromising his standard of living. On the contrary, stocks are something which gives you an exorbitant returns provided you have certain knowledge or understanding about how stock works. And that comes up once you understand the markets well, once you have the risk appetite, once you have a great understanding about different companies established in the markets. So an investor can also invest the money into stocks. Generally it is said that your stock portfolio should be 5 to 10% of your mutual fund portfolios. And it is also said that mutual fund is a very strong route or a good route where you can do your financial planning, whether it is your retirement goal creation, whether it is your emergency corpus, your child's education, your child's marriage, and so on and so forth. Now, when it comes to real estate, so real estate is also one of the asset classes where people look forward to put their money and letting it grow over a period of time. So generally, the commercial real estate is expected to give approximately 7% of returns on an annual basis, and on the residential real estate gives you 2% of yields. So investors know about all these things to a great extent. The only thing is that real estate as an asset class is a little liquid and illiquid in nature. That means you can't sell off the real estate all by itself at one go, because you need a buyer, there has to be a seller, then there has to be transactions, then there has to be clerical works involved into it, and then there could be sometimes some government rules and regulations involved as well. So in that case, in terms of liquidity, stocks and mutual funds are much better. Real estate is lesser liquid. In terms of rate of returns also, the stocks and mutual funds give you a little better rate of return in terms of your dividends on payout as far other vis-a-vis the real estate is concerned. So real estate, every sector of investment or every mode of investment has its specific phase. So initially the people in 1960s and 80s used to invest the money into physical gold, into real estate, and now eventually they have moved to the capital markets where they want their money to grow and it should be liquid as well at the same time.
Okay, so what I'm understanding from this particular thing is that stocks and mutual funds will give us more returns, right? And it is always depends upon the market. It can give us a lot of returns as well. And also the market is, so as we are talking about market is also risky, correct? So suppose I have invested in a mutual fund, and if market goes up or down, like should I wait for, like, should I set my goal for like 3 years? I'll not be touching my stocks for 3 years. Let the market go up and low, or how should I go about that?
So Arpita, it's very, very important to understand that if you have a specific goal or a definite goal into your mind, let's say for example, you want to invest the money for your retirement, right? So if you are at the age of 30, let's say, so you still have 30 more years to go before you retire. So in 30 years of time frame, there will be lots and lots of ups and downs which the markets will be encountering. Let's say, for example, sometimes it could be in the form of COVID, sometimes it could be in the form of Ukraine crisis, it could be form of Indo-Pak war, sometimes it could be form of some geopolitical tensions as well. So in that case, you need not have to be fearful of the fact that, oh, mera to paisa gir jayega. Yeah, I will not be able to make sufficient portfolio returns into the portfolios. So the only thing which is required for an investor is consistency and the faith over the markets in general. So let's say if an investor has two of these aspects clearly engraved into the mind, then the whole idea of getting very good returns into the portfolio increases. So the whole intent is to take care of your retirement. The whole intent is not this that in the next 2 years you have to make an exorbitant return and then you have to get out of the markets and exploit that entire money. So it doesn't work that way. So investing is a process. It's a process in making where, people come forward, people invest, letting their money grow, making it to grow, adopting the best and the finest and an efficient way of growing that money. And finally, it happens in this manner.
For the people, we have spoken about the people who do job and get the salary every month. But what are your suggestions for someone like freelancers who they do not get money every month, they do not get fixed amount every month? So do you also have any suggestion for them how they can think, or how they can plan their investment?
Obviously, investing is not something which is only associated to monthly salaried people. Investing is, agnostic to the fact that anybody at any point of time, at any phase of life can start investing. So for freelancers, let's say whatever the remaining amount of money they have on their normal monthly basis or on a quarterly basis, they can put their money into one of the funds wherever they feel like it's comfortable and it is safer as well, and from there they can get good returns. So Arpita, I mean, it is not only important that SIPs should be installed, because many a time the freelancers might not have sufficient amount of money to pay for their SIPs. In that case, additional purchase and fresh purchase can be made at any point of time whenever they have the money to their portfolios, and through that they can actually start investing and letting it grow over a period of time.
As AI has already come to the market, how do you think AI and this fintech company are going to, help or help managing your investment, or if
The technology becomes disruptive, it brings with its own set of challenges as well. So artificial intelligence in the form of chat GPT, generative AI has become so common now. Now, in every field, it has been seen that there is a penetration of artificial intelligence, and it is making the systems more refined. It has an apprehension that it will take away the lower order jobs as well. But artificial intelligence helps you out in a lot more manner. For example, it can help you out in telling you about the fact what kind of returns will come, how the past returns could be populated, how can you select a fund, and all that stuff. So even if there are proper ways to basically where the people can give proper prompts to chat GPT or AI, they can basically use the things for their own advantage, where they can basically let their money grow over a period of time. So, I mean, coming back to the point, artificial intelligence, whether it is a top MNCs like TCS, Infosys, Oracle, Accenture, whether it is any other consulting firms, or whether it is an MSMEs or anybody or everybody, or even a freelancer, everybody is using the artificial intelligence for its own usage and for its own efficiency and for escalating the returns and making their lives much more efficient. So if you see, you can write codes, you can write prompts, you can get valuable suggestions, you can make PPTs, you can have a proper targeting of audience, all through the basis of artificial intelligence. So Arpita, I personally find that it has a major impact into the lives of people, and trust me, 5 years down the line, you will see that just as today, without computer or technology, the thing becomes absolutely impossible to work. In the similar manner, in times to come, without artificial intelligence, your life would be seem to be completely in a standstill mode.
Yeah, correct. So, people very easily believe on artificial intelligence, and obviously it's helping all of us. But when it's come to finance and when it's come to your money, people might doubt a little that since it's artificial intelligence, so their money might grow or
So
might not
Arpita,
grow.
I
That's the thing.
remember while I was a kid, there used to be an essay which says science is a good servant but a bad master. So
Yeah.
it applies the same way to artificial intelligence as well. It is a good servant but a bad master. So let any of the technology do not overpower you to an extent that you become almost paralyzed without its absence.
Great, great. So how is MoneyTree Planners, going to help people in their finances?
So Arpita, basically it's MoneyTree Partners. So
Partners.
as far as the MoneyTree Partners is concerned, it is a wealth management firm which is professionally driven by the set of experts who have quite knowledge and experience in their field. Where there are customized portfolio management, customized portfolio delivery. Now client-centric queries are there which needs to get solved. It's a fintech brand where you can see the data, your portfolios on the real-time basis. And then, of course, in times of uncertainties, whether they are a war or whether they are, some Ukraine crisis or some issues with China or some issues with US. So, I mean, there are lot of queries which comes up in front of the investors. So the investors come forward, they ask their queries, requisite actions are also taken into the portfolios as per according to the need and wants of the market, and so on and so forth. The portfolios are dynamically managed. So it gives a lot of satisfaction to the investors also that yes, my portfolios are growing, it is outbeating the market returns, and at the same time, my goals are also getting accomplished. So probably Arpita, it is at that point of time where you see that wow, this is where the goal accomplishment at one end, and at the same time the portfolio management at the other end gets fulfilled.
Yeah, so that's a great platform. I was also reading about it because for someone who doesn't understand finance, who doesn't understand the market, they probably need, a firm like yours to manage their
Thank
money,
you.
because
Yeah.
if I speak about myself as well, I don't understand much about market, when it's going up, when it's going down, what should I do. People panic a lot whenever market gets down. So that's great. Also, any financial trends that young people should watch out for the next 5 to 10 years?
So I think the biggest financial trend is that they should keep a track of how the Indian markets are performing, how the international markets are performing, how is the gold performing, and if they will be able to keep themselves abreast of all these trends well, then they are much in a better position to see that how they should invest the money, what is the concept of dip, when it is said that the markets are rise, you have to sell during the highs. So all of these trends comes up only once you deeply analyze and understand the markets to a great extent possible as well.
Great. So, what I'm understanding is we all the individuals should start learning about finance. They should know how to manage, and if they don't know and if they don't have time to learn about it, they should be definitely connecting the firm like yours, right?
Definitely, Arpita. I mean, as a typical wealth manager, it becomes my duty to take care of my investors' portfolio to see to it that they come out with one of the best returns possible. And at the same time, there should be absolutely coherence with their portfolio management and the accomplishment of the goals.
Great. So, any advice you would like to give to our listeners?
So, Arpita, to all the viewers, I would just say that financial independence is something which gives you a lot of confidence. It makes you focused. It is not only about the finances; it is all about streamlining your life goals and accomplishing those goals by through a calculated measure. Because after doing a lot of hard work, you earn. Therefore, that earning also has to get converted into investments and savings, and through that, you adopt different strategies. So, in life, there is no get rich quick strategy. The only thing is that systematic and disciplined investments can literally be a big game changer and can take your life altogether to a different level where you become much more logical, much more rational, and at the same time letting your money grow over a period of time. So when all these strategies, tricks, ideas, philosophies work together, when your executions and thinking process works together, it is at that point of time that investors feel that yes, that is something which they have made, for which they have made literally a meaning out of their lives.
Okay, that's great. So it was really nice speaking to you, and you have given a lot of insights. And for a beginner like me, I am thinking I should start building my portfolio. Either I will learn or I should connect with someone, someone like you. So thank you so much for being here, for giving your time to me. And
Arpita,
yeah,
pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much for calling me over your show. I'm highly delighted that I could, with this kind of show, I could make a difference into the lives of people.
correct. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Okay, pleasure is all mine. Take care, Arpita. Bye.
Thank you so much for sticking to full episode. I hope it helps you understand finances much better. I hope it helps you understand or realize that if you are not investing, you should start investing, and you know whom to connect to if you want to invest. You can always connect with MoneyTree Partners. They are going to build your portfolio. They are going to tell you in which stock you should be investing. They are going to manage basically all these things for you. So I'm going to attach their link in the show notes. I'm going to attach the LinkedIn page, and I'm also going to attach the Instagram handle for them. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. It's going to help me